Okay, welcome back to Score on Business. Remember to check out scorenashville.org. Our next guest, who is a returning guest, Kris Kelso, is an entrepreneur who's founded several companies and spent a lot of time in healthcare and technology. He currently works as an executive coach, leads a CEO roundtable, and consults with business owners on strategy and leadership development. Thanks for being here.
Glad to, Pete. Always enjoy it.
Yeah. So you recently wrote an article on the imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
What is that?
Imposter syndrome is it's a psychological term that was coined actually in the late 70s, but it refers to the tendency of many people to overinflate the value of other people's accomplishments and tend to undervalue their own accomplishments. So people will look at someone else that's very successful or growing a business, and I see this a lot in entrepreneurs, where other people seem to have a plan and seem to be really talented and smart, and they know what they're doing, and yet I'm just sort of making it up as I go, and my success has been the result of a lot of good fortune, right place, right time, I just happen to know somebody, etc. And so the underlying fear is that eventually the curtain's going to be pulled back, some revelation is going to be made, and people are going to figure out that I'm an imposter, that I am making this up as I go and I don't actually know what I'm doing, and at that point it's all going to come crumbling to the ground. And the reality is that a lot of entrepreneurs feel this way, and it's something that's very common that a lot of people deal with, but it's not really widely talked about. And part of the reason for that is when entrepreneurs go to networking events and business meetups and conferences, everybody's got their game face on. Everybody's putting their best foot forward because everyone's trying to impress investors, potential team members, employees, potential customers. So everyone's projecting the very best of their business and making everything sound awesome. And often the individual entrepreneur is doing that as well, but deep inside they know that it's just a series of near catastrophes and they're one mistake away from really having a big problem, and so they feel like a fraud.
Which is true of any entrepreneur.
It's true of any entrepreneur, and so they feel like a fraud, they feel like an imposter, and it's a very common thing.
You know, it makes me think of the saying, don't compare your insides to other people's outsides.
Yes, you've got inside baseball on your own business. You know all the nitty-gritty and the dirt and the really tough work that it takes to get something to happen, and the truth is that's going on all over the place in every business.
Yeah, but you know, anything that humans are involved with is not going to be perfect.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So it's a common thing that entrepreneurs deal with, and understanding it and recognizing it, it helps to combat it.
Absolutely, that's good.
Yeah, thanks.
So you have worked a lot with entrepreneurs at the early stage of creating their businesses. What are the core ingredients of a business model in the early stages?
Every business plan, business model, and every investor pitch or sales pitch even really boils down to two ingredients: facts and assumptions, right? There's things that are either known to be true or things that we're asserting and believing to be true. And in an early stage of a business, it's mostly assumptions. The entrepreneur is creating a vision and a plan of, I'm going to create this product and I'm going to sell to this type of customer and I'm going to enter this market and we're going to be able to charge this amount and make these kind of margins and scale to this size and attract this. All of those things are assumptions, and they may be things that the entrepreneur believes very firmly, but the reality is that many of those are assumptions, not facts, until you take the time to prove it. So one of the jobs of an entrepreneur is to be continually working to change things, change different aspects and data points from an assumption to a proven truth. And of course, as you do that, your model gets more mature, your business becomes more accurate to the end picture of what it's actually going to be, and you learn a lot of things and adapt along the way. But when I talk to entrepreneurs and I look at business model and plan, and especially when I think about gauging the growth of a business and the maturity of, of an entrepreneurial venture, it's not necessarily about getting customers and driving revenue and growth in those areas, although those are very important and very valuable. The real measure of growth, I think, is that you are taking assumptions and converting them to truths, to facts, to things that you know. And you're moving from a system of just belief that this is going to work to a system of evidential data where you've tested and validated and in many cases adjusted, but really honed in on the truth about all the different aspects of the business model. So it comes down to those two things, facts and assumptions.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we'll take a break here for a moment. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back.